are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and it's me, Dukect, and well, what a tangle web we have webbed, and AEW. Oh Lord, I have to say that I was gonna originally talk about Chris Jericho saying he's old and young, and I want to have that conversation. I want to find that conversation about Chris Jericho. And I was pro Chris Jericho holding the belt. I'm pro Chris Jericho holding the title. I want him to be the title because he is the person of a flagship. He's showing to be like somebody to say this guy in the television and everyone else. He is a well-known quantity. You might hate him or like him, but that's he is. He's well-known. And maybe drop the title on the first night, at AEW TV taping, or maybe he'll do something later on. Maybe he'll find another champion. Maybe he'll do it, the next pay-per-view event. That sort of thing. That could be something really good. But, no. We can't have that, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have that conversation because I can't talk about that conversation right now. And the reason why I can't talk about that conversation is because this story. Police say AEW title was found on the side of the road, turning about, because let's be honest, the AEW title was supposed to be lost, stolen. Chris Jericho was looking for it. And here's the thing. He was stolen because he was went to the limousine. After he left his limo, eating at Longhorn Steakhouse, which is, of course, when you're a champion, you go to the Longhorn Steakhouse. It's it was just this whole thing, which he just lost the championship to Florida. It just, again, this is like the more you go into it, it's more and more into a Florida story. It's morphing into a Florida story. It's like Chris Jericho is slowly morphing into Florida man as we speak. It says he claims that his title, it says that the victim, exactly, he was eating inside Longhorn Steakhouse. This is, again, when he lost, but it says, the report says is this. The Florida Department, Tennessee Police Department confirms Jericho filed a police report over the weekend in regards to stolen title. The report reads as follows. The victim reported the theft of his championship wrestling belt while he was eating inside Longhorn Steakhouse. The victim stated he arrived at the Millionaire Club Airport Terminal and placed the belt inside his winter limousine. The limo driver shuttled the victim to the Longhorn for dinner. The victim remained at the Longhorn while the limo driver returned to the airport. The victim had taken the wrong luggage from the airport, and the driver took it back to the terminal. When the driver picked up the victim from the restaurant, the belt was missing. Responding officers searched the limo and airport without success, and on-call CID was consulted. Forensics responded to the scene. And AEW, this was, it says right here, it was confirmed on Sunday. It said that the AEW link on the comments of an Instagram post that the World Championship was stolen on Sunday. And so much Chris Jericho actually posted a video claiming that, he wants the championship found. But you know where it was, ladies and gentlemen? Like I repeated to you, it was found the side of the road. The AEW title was found in the side of the road. It was by a good Samaritan who turned it into police. You just can't make this stuff up. You can't. And I like the fact, let me just see if I can find it in the picture. Look at the way the police officer, look at the way the police officer holding that belt. Just, wow. Oh gosh. Look at this. He's just like, holding that belt like, man, here it is. Here's your belt. Just, yeah. And by the way, the belt is cost supposedly around $29,250, which rounded out, that's around $30,000. $30,000. Wow, he's launching a world. Yep, it just seems so. Yeah. What is this story? I'm just. What the hell is this story? What the hell is this? I don't know what this is, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what this is. This is a story that just, it baffles me. It just continues. Was it just stolen and someone dropped it and left it by the side of the Longhorn Steakhouse? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. Or just Jericho had a little bit too much of the bubbly. A little too much of the bubbly. And then he just just left it at the side of the road. I mean, I was defending this, man. I like, this is like a good chance to keep the championship, a way to do it. Now I'm like, wow, I don't think it's possible, but AEW is getting on the most wrong foot possible. I didn't think it was possible to get the championship on the wrong foot, but by gosh, they did it. And I know, hey, they're being talked about. I mean, someone say, hey, that's a good thing. Any publicity is good publicity, but I don't want publicity to a new company or a new championship in pro wrestling as your champion looks like, had a little bit too much of bubbly and lost the championship that cost $30,000. And by the way, he's your inaugural champion and going into your first, a month away from your October TV debut. So unless it's somehow a storyline, which at this point looks like it might not be, this is not a good look. Not a good look at all. Incompetence is not a good look in any organization, in any place. I mean, if, last night the Mets were trending and say, hey, because of that historic loss to the Washington Nationals, that the Nationals came back and won 11-10. Someone say, hey, they're getting publicity, they're getting tweets, people are talking about the Mets. Yeah, but not in a good way. And the same thing in AEW. They're talking about AEW. They're talking about Chris Jericho. They're talking about this stuff. Yeah, but not in a good way. Not in a good way. Of course, I could be wrong, and it's all going to work out, and AEW is going to be all, sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops, and everything else. I just, that's just to me insane. That's crazy tough right there, man. It's beautiful. This is an insane story. Well, here's hoping. I really, 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 really hope that this doesn't happen again anytime soon. This is because, again, not a good look for your company when your champion looks too tipsy. He's like, people are like, hey, this guy's too old to be a champion. They already get that aspect. Now he's like, he's an old drunk who lost the belt when he was eating some steaks at Longhorn Steakhouse. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for AEW. Not a good look at all. Well, anyway. I'm going to take another break here because we're going to be talking some more stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. More stuff. Yes, we got some more. We got another story to talk about. Something that I need to get off my chest. It's about Bayley. About WWE superstar Bayley and, well, how her face turn, well, wasn't really a face turn. A heel turn. That was actually a face turn. Oh, man. We'll be right back right after this, people. Thanks so much for listening to Dukect live on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after.